Hey, so we're here in the outskirts of Khao San Road, which is sort of the main tourist crawling spot in Thailand. And I want to make a video to talk about how I think Thailand as an expat destination is basically finished. And I say basically because, I mean, there's still ways to relocate here. In particular, if you teach English, or of course if you're an older person and you want to get a retirement visa, you still see this happening here. But pretty much the flexibility of Thailand is over, and you even see this here now, because when I look around, I mean, I know I'm kind of on the edge of Khao San, but it's still just a lot more quiet and tame than it used to be. This is one of the first countries I ever went to, and I remember years ago when I was a young lad, it was a lot crazier here. It was, I mean, it's still very busy right now, but it's just, you see fewer expats here, and what's going on is that they've cracked down on visa running. What this means is, taking a visa run means you come on a tourist visa and you want to stay in a country longer, so you leave the country, come back, get your passport stamped. Now, I get why this is something to end, because it's technically, I mean, it's exploiting a loophole. So why wouldn't a country just remove that loophole so that people can't keep coming back into the country again and again? Well, there's a reason why countries allow visa running, and it's because you kind of have to do the math. People from the West, people from wherever, you know, Europe, so at least most parts of Europe, America, Canada, UK, they don't come to a country like Thailand because they want to take Thai jobs, right? So I mean, in Thai economy is not sustainable for people in the West. So people from the West come here, and it's a net gain, because they're not taking jobs away, but they're creating jobs, because all of the many expats, they have to be catered to, and they're typically staying because they have money saved in the bank, or they're like me, they're digital nomads, and they're working in some way online. So that's usually why people come here. Or how they come here, how they can stay for a long period of time. Now, admittedly, there are a lot of backpacker types who, despite coming from wherever in the, you know, whatever Western country, they're still kind of like broke sons of bitches. So they still come, and you know, they have no money to spend because they're like hippies, and you know, they couch surf, and they stay in the cheapest possible hostels. So admittedly, I mean, those guys may not be as profitable for the country, but even those guys, I mean, they're still a net positive, there's still a net gain. And so that's really why countries accept visa running. It's why you can still do this in many other places. Indonesia, for example, Philippines, or Vietnam, you don't even have to bother. You just pay some money and basically get a visa online for as long as you want to stay. They make it very simple. However, in recent years, recent months even, Thailand has now ended all of this. So I've been hearing stories about people being rejected. Let's go down this alleyway and see what's down here.
Yeah, see here.
No, it's okay. It's like only the second merchant to bother me. Like it's so tame now, you know, which is nice. But anyway, so I hear stories about people who have only have like one other stamp on their passport, having, you know, been back in Thailand only once in that year, and then being rejected at the airport, being told to piss off, being told to go book another ticket somewhere else and get the hell out of Thailand. So I came to Thailand a bit nervous, because I was here in summer 2018. So if I was here in summer 2018, are they going to reject me from getting into the country. And so I was given like this slip, and on the slip they ask things like, how much money do you make, right? And it's like no money at all, 20,000 to 60,000 US dollars, $100,000 or more. So of course, I put 20,000 to 60,000, but I'm just thinking, it's like, I mean, if you're making less than that, if you put down you're making less than that, like that's going to be a serious red flag. So you pretty much have to lie on your entry slip if you're one of these backpackers who don't have a lot of money, which is, God bless them, that's okay. There's other things on there which they will red flag you about. One of them is a question about, is this your first time in Thailand? It seems like an innocent question, but what they're doing is they're profiling you. And if you don't want to lie, because they can probably look you up and see if you've been in the country a lot. So if you put no, it's not your first time, then that's going to be another red flag for the for the immigration staff to possibly harass you. So sure enough, also they ask you how long you plan to be here. So I put on the slip 28 days, because that's actually how long I'm gonna be in Thailand. And of course, I bring my stuff to immigration, and the guy looks at me and is like, "Why are you spending so much time in this country? What are you doing here for so long?" And I'm thinking to myself, since when is 28 days a long time? The maximum is 30 days. So since when is being in the country for within the visa-free period? When is there a wrong answer about that? Since when is 28 days too much? So I made up. So I didn't really make up. I just I said some bullshit about how I'm getting dental work done, which is kind of true actually. So I'm gonna be in the country longer, look for a good dentist. And he kind of skeptically looks at me, narrows his eyes at me, and then stamps my passport, lets me into the country. But this is really unprecedented. So they don't even want people. So that's okay. So they don't want people here who are backpackers. They don't want people making less than $20,000 a year. They don't want people here staying longer than a couple of weeks. And they don't want people coming who have been to Thailand before. Basically, they just want bourgeois families to come in, spend a bunch of money, and get the hell out of their country. And hey, maybe they're justified. I think foreigners, farangs, have they don't have the best reputation in the country, I guess. And so maybe they're just sick of people, and they want Western people to get the hell out. But regardless of why, what remains is a country that's pretty much unfriendly to expats and it's unfriendly to digital nomads. And I'd be mindful about this. Now, if you really love Thailand, like I said, there's still ways you can get in here, but at this point, I mean, I think really it's all about like Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia if you want to relocate to Southeast Asia. And Thailand is only good for brief trips. And if you have more than one stamp in the current year on your passport, don't book a trip here without being prepared to possibly have to buy a ticket from within the airport to leave again. So be prepared to maybe lose a lot of money if you don't meet their expectations. So it is a bit sad, because I think the glory days of Thailand are now over. And not to mention there's so much political unrest, political instability here that I think that just adds to it. I don't know if it's just like a junta happening, but I think the country's still pretty much controlled by military assets. So it's a crazy situation, and yeah. So like I said, that's probably the end of this place as an expat destination. But on the plus side, maybe a little bit more peaceful, maybe a little less touristy. It still is really touristy, but a little bit less. Anyway, hit subscribe if you like this video. I have more travel videos out there. I'll talk to you guys soon.